What's up, everybody? Squirrel Man's back again. It's late at night, I'm parked, and that's why I'm making this video. For people who don't know, finding a parking spot at night is an absolute pain in the ass. And what's even more of a pain in the ass is talking to people who don't have any fucking clue what it's like to drive a truck and find a spot at night. And then they just make all these stupid assumptions. You know, you don't know because you don't do this. You know, it's like it's 11 o'clock at night and somebody says, oh, don't worry, there's a truck stop up the road. Okay, that doesn't mean shit to me, dude. It's 11 o'clock at night. You're not going to find a spot at a truck stop. You know, this is the type of shit you're going to have to deal with all the time as a driver. You know, stupid people who don't know what they're fucking talking about. You know, and you have to smile and grin, you know, and just be like, okay. I got super lucky, though, from the last guy, because he was kind of like that, but I can't be mad at him. You know, he was like, well, do you need some ideas and some places to park? And I'm like, any place you give me, I already know it's not going to fucking be a spot, you know, because you're thinking all these truck stops, you know. So I'm like, dude, don't even worry about it, man. I'm not going to waste your time. And he was like, well, I got a place that's 100% guaranteed. And turns out he was right, but I'll tell you, 99% of the time, those people don't know what they're talking about. Because they don't know what it's like to be out here doing this job. You know? That's what gets me so irritated sometimes talking, especially driver managers. Driver managers act like they know. They don't know shit about what it's like to be out here and do this job. They sit in their little office and they dictate everything and blah, 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 blah. So many of them have never done this job before. You'll know when you find a driver manager that's actually done this job. You'll just know. Right off the dickhead, you will know. Because he'll be saying things and setting things up for you and that'll just make sense. You know, it's because he's done the job before. But I swear to God, like 75% of the driver managers you're going to deal with have never even been inside a truck before. When I was working for US Express, the fleet manager, she told me right to my face, I've never even been inside a truck before. I'm like, you're making decisions every day that affect dozens and dozens of drivers, and you have no clue what it's like to do the job. That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. You know, it really is. I mean, I don't understand it, you know. But at the end of the day, they know, these trucking companies know, they can't get certain people to do certain jobs that have been drivers, because a lot of drivers don't want to do those fucking jobs. That's just the reality of it. A lot of drivers just want to be out here, go from A to B, be left alone. They don't want to be sitting in a fucking office. They don't want to be doing all that shit. That's not their personality. That's not the way they were designed. Because that's not me. But, so it's like, you know, it is what it is, you know. But all I'm saying at the end of the day, if you've never done this job before, you need to sit back and shut the fuck up, you know, because you're talking about something you don't know what you're talking about. And then what really pisses me off is when people in the office get offended when you say things, and it's like you want to reach through the phone and just beat the fuck out of them because they're not listening. You know, they know what they think they know, but really they don't know shit. All they know is what they see on that fucking computer. You know, it gets very frustrating for the drivers out here. And drivers, I'm telling you, I bet there's a million drivers out there that could tell you the same story what I'm saying right now. You know, but at the end of the day, you just got to grin and bear it because you're just a company driver and there's nothing you can do about it. And you just want to get paid and just be on your way. And just hope that the next load doesn't have any aggravation attached to it. You know, and it's not like that all the time. But and maybe I'm just venting, but you know, this is something you're gonna have to deal with when you come out here. Parking is a big issue. I'll tell you, when you're out here driving, the rule of thumb that you really need to know is that around 3 in the afternoon, you better start looking for a spot. Because around 3 in the afternoon, I've said this before, a lot of those drivers that have been up since 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, their days are getting ready to end, and they're looking for a truck stop. So those truck stops start filling up like crazy around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And around 6, 7 o'clock at night, you're done for, dude. That's when they start doing those crazy parking jobs and start just parking on top of each other. And at that point, it is what it is, you know. I will tell you, one place a lot of rookies never think about is way stations. There's nothing wrong with parking at a way station. Anyone can do it. It's not illegal. You can totally park at a way station. So don't ever be afraid to do that. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Common sense ain't common.